movies are a bit different since they don't always have a direct connection to programming but have a lot to do with hacker lifestyles. Most of the movies in my list are oldies but goodies. I'm sure you're not surprised that this is my top pick. If you are a programmer and you haven't seen this movie, then something is terribly wrong with you. Or maybe you just don't like movies. This used to be my top pick until Matrix came along. It's old but the content is still good. The funny thing is this has a lot in common with The Matrix. In this movie the programmer gets zapped into the computer world. A movie about a group of geeks building a startup in a garage that takes a strange turn. This is the type of movie you have to watch a couple times to understand, but it's worth it. I like subtle sci-fi movies like this. Probably the best movie about how Apple, Microsoft and the rivalry between them got started. This movie even impressed the real Steve Jobs. He even had the actor that played him in the movie kick off one of his Macworld keynotes. If you haven't seen this, then you need to fire up Netflix right now and enjoy. This not your average cartoon. If you're into anime, then this is a must-see. My guess is if you like anime you've seen this already, but for those new to anime then this is a good start. If you can get past the many inaccurate parts of this movie in relation to the real world Mark Zuckerberg, then this movie will be entertaining. I do like the fact that they did get the hacking in the movie right. It's not easy to make programming fun to watch on screen, but they pulled it off a bit in this movie. A hacker movie that takes on the dark thriller genre. It's based on the popular novel about a hacker girl with social issues helping a journalist solve a murder mystery. Here's the original Swedish version, 2009, of the movie. This should be a trilogy, but it doesn't look like the US version will continue. The Swedish version was made into a trilogy. This is a hacker movie that stars Robert Redford, Sidney Poitier, Dan Aykroyd and the late River Phoenix. Even Mary McDonnell, who later played President Laura Roslin in Battlestar Galactica, has a role in this movie. By far the best programmer comedy movie out there. The only other movie I watch more than this one is probably The Matrix. Probably the most popular hacker movie from the 80s. Pure fiction, but it probably convinced a lot of people that kids can somehow start wars from home using computers. The only other comedy movie on this list, starring Anthony Michael Hall, who was in a lot of movies I enjoyed from the 80s and is also in Pirates of Silicon Valley. Also look out for Bill Paxton and young Robert Downey. I know, this movie has nothing to do with programmers, but it has a lot to do with hacking. Social engineering is a way to hack humans, and this movie is all about that, based on a true story, which makes it even more interesting. This movie falls short of a good story, but it makes up for it with great visuals and a cool soundtrack. Plus I got a thing for Tron, and this sequel includes some of the original actors. Now this is a controversial one. Based on the life of famous hacker Kevin Mitnick, this movie attempts to tell the story of how Kevin became a world-famous hacker. But it's filled with holes and doesn't really tell the real story. I don't know why I like this movie. It kinda sucks, but I keep watching it. Maybe it has something to do with the jabs at Bill Gates or the dot-com hype. Most likely is probably because it reminds me of my dot-com days.